In what I would like to call probably the most unfortunate timing ever, I'm getting this video out. The past 2 or 3 videos, I told you this video was coming. I need to free up my hard drive, so let's try some different things today. I constantly shake things up, and there's a lot of strong builds that don't really get used. Some of these, I've talked about them before, but all still relevant. There's some exotics themselves that don't see too much play, maybe have been forgotten about, possibly not even realized nowadays. We're gonna get into some of those, and recently I posted the Arc Warlock build. If you haven't checked that one out, check it out. The Adaptive Radiant Hunter, both have switch up things you can do within the build. They're just stupid nasty, so this video is all about those unused exotics, strong builds, fun builds, meme builds, all of it. Things to try. And as we get into Season 22 with the Sandbox Shakeup, remember some of these. Try these out now, see what they're all about, see if they're for you. And I did keep Season 22 in mind with this video. It's gonna jump around quite a bit. So in no order, number 1, an exotic, Capri Sting. It was once the top trials exotic, and the moment that it got nerfed, usage stopped. It got reworked, but with that rework, we have something completely new. There's a base thing that goes on now, and there's some combinations. Touch of Venom. Punching someone with full melee energy will instantly cast Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb deals increased damage and regenerates more quickly when stuck to a surface. You're granted True Sight after it gets a hit. So this works the exact same way as Caliban's Hand now, and that's how you want to use it. The base loop now, I feel really good. I have Tier 4 melee. Tier 4. When you throw that smoke, you get increased cooldown. Tier 4 is pretty much the min-max for the loop. When you throw the smoke, it sticks. You have the fast regeneration. If the smoke doesn't tag anything, it's eventually going to explode, but by that time, it's going to loop back. Essentially, the goal now is for intel and for pings. You can throw it to your back, throw it to the side. The smoke pings as a player, it looks like an enemy, and people will just go right at it at times, like this one with a shotgun out. When they hit it, you get True Sight, so you get to see exactly what's going on. And wherever you place it, you know where it's at, so you know where to look. And then you're gonna get True Sight to see what went down. Maybe you place it in front of you. You get some intel as to how many there are, where they are. And wherever you're at, like we'll go back to that shotgun clip, you could set it up again and do it again. And let's remember, that smoke deals increased damage with Capris, and the smoke bomb itself, when you're hit by it, kind of stuns, kind of slows, really foggy field of view. And also within the subclass, they are weakened because the smoke bomb applies weaken. You go back to that spot, look at them, they take more damage from you, and a couple other things are going on, you're at a good spot. But that's going to be the main use. Within that Void kit, we have Shade Step, Vanishing Step, kind of a sleight of hand, a Mirage type build. You ping all the time with the smoke, go invisible, off the radar, be close to your smoke, and then when someone hits it, come out. It's gonna get a whole lot better when that melee stat gets 7 and above though. You do have your Gambler's Dodge to get the melee back. You have Outreach on the class item to get melee energy back after dodging. You have melee kickstarts. That's the base loop, but aside from that, like the Wombo is still there. Capri Smoke does a little bit more damage, and that will weaken them. So we have the Magnetic Grenade. That's gonna get applied to their weakened debuff. It's a one-shot combo. You can use it as a panic. Afterwards, you can dodge, go invisible. There's some play here. You could throw the smoke in a group and throw a nade after. Like the weakened Capri's bomb is pretty good. Those things are always gonna be there. You can pair it with Collective Obligation. Lots of buff leeching, taking and going on Stylus Executioner. But mostly, you're using it like Caliban. Throw the smoke and choke points, cause a ping, just loop it out. The melee itself, when you drop the smoke bomb on someone, pretty good damage. So play a game or two with it, try some of the things, try the loop. Throw as many smokes as possible into choke points, where players can rush right into it. Check it out. Build number 2, the Vermin Pest. Extremely effective the day that it was realized, and extremely effective to this day. It involves a Disruption Break GL, best one, Explosive Personality. Autoloading Disruption Break is craftable. And aside from what we're getting ready to go over, just crazy good combination, crazy good weapon. You can add in a regular autoloading GL if you want. But with this one, you're gonna hit them, it throws a wave, you're gonna break the shields, 50% more kinetic damage, and that pairing is Rat King. You can use it on any subclass, any character, but my favorite way is the Solar Titan with the Greaves. The Solar Titan kit, aspects and fragments wise, we have Soul Invictus, so solar ability final blows create a sunspot. Sunspot applies Scorch, Roaring Flames. Solar ability final blows or ignitions increases the damage of your solar abilities. Char for spreading Scorch with ignitions, Eruption, larger AoE ignition, Torches. Powered melee attacks make you and nearby allies radiant, and ashes, more Scorch stacks. We have the Healing Grenade, the Hammer Strike, Ignition after Hammer Strike final blows. The Disruption GL Rat King combo, really good by itself. But the amazing part to me, and why I like this so much, is the invisible Solar Titan going for Tiger Knees. Who expects the invisible flying Tiger Knee? It can take out supers, it can collateral because the ignitions, it can do a lot of things. And Rat King, at base, is pretty good. A good effect after the kill. And I still don't have the catalyst to this day. Always been somewhat hard to get a rat pack going, but it's fine at base. You can use any other GL, but explosive is perfect. And on Hunter, you can fly with Stompies. You can use Dragon Shadow. That way you reload the GL. You can use it on the Void kit with Graviton Forfeit or Devour. That has Vanishing Steps. You can be invisible, go up to someone, do the GL Rat King combo, go right back to invisibility. You can do whatever you want. And Warlock, there's Ophidians, there's Getaway Artists, Rate of Fire pairing with a fusion. There's a lot of ways. It doesn't necessarily involve that GL, like Rain of Fire, Rat King, Warlock, but it can work on any sub. It's a lot of fun, kind of memey, but very strong. Build number 3, the Necrotic Arc. This is personally one of my favorite things to play in all of Destiny 2 for a number of reasons. I've talked about this before, but I want to bring this up because they say a very detailed catalyst is coming out soon on a weapon that is loved, and simply that catalyst is going to be going to Thorn. Some think last word, who knows? But this involves Thorn, and to me, it's one of the best viable ways to use Thorn. I believe that the Arc Necrotic Warlock is an absolute force. You're on Stormcaller, remember Necrotic Grip, damaging combatants poisons them, dealing increasing damage over time. Defeating a poisoned combatant spreads the condition. It has to do with the melee, and it provides a moderate benefit to the AE stat of all weapons of sorrow. We are using a weapon of sorrow, Thorn, so the total AE is 51. Pretty good. And on Thorn, Mark of the Devourer, you deal damage over time, kills with this weapon, leave behind a remnant, you pick up that remnant, partially refills the mag, but you get increased damage over time. There's a lot of combos with this build. Since they work together, your Thorn final blows will spread Necrotic Grip poison. And like right here, I got Soul Devourer. 2 enemies are right next to each other. Big damage with the big damage over time. They're right next to each other. It explodes, spreads it. Easy cleanup, pick up another soul. And just the increased damage over time, pretty good. You can 2-tap a lot of the time with it. That interaction is just fun. Your Thorn final blows spreading poison. But what ties it all together is Lightning Surge. While sliding, activate your charged melee ability to blink forward, calling down lightning strikes that jolt targets as you rematerialize. So this is a melee, meaning that when you land this melee, you're applying Jolt and Necrotic Grip poison. And those things feed off of each other. It's like a little mini nuke. I pair it with Arc Soul. I'm going to come back to this. The loop and how I have this set up, I have max recovery, 85 strength. I want the Lightning Surge melee as much as I can get. And to do that, I have on double outreach. So when I use my Rift, I get a little chunk of melee back. And then with Arc Soul, remember, yeah, you get the Arc Soul, but allies can pass through your Rift. They get the Arc Soul, and your Rift charges faster when allies are near. So high stat on melee, high stat on class ability. One's helping get the other. Can use the Rift, double outreach, and kind of loop it out. You can use any grenade that you want. I use Arc Bolt, and you can honestly use any fragments that you want. I personally have Resistance for the plus 10 strength. I have Shock. The Arc Grenade jolts targets. That's why I'm using Arc Bolt. Fastest cooldown, just to jolt them. Recharge while critically wounded. Melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. This is good for the subclass with what we're doing. And then I threw this on at the end. I'm going to change it, but I had tier 11 recovery and I couldn't get away from it. After sprinting for a short time, your class ability regeneration is increased. But there's so much that you can do. The Necrotic Lightning Surge is very strong. You can kind of use it like a shotgun melee, like you would do with a shotgun, like let's say shoulder charge. But you're doing it at like 25 meters out. You sprint up to them, tap them with Thorn, go in for the Lightning Surge, you get closer. The damage from Thorn combined with the big melee damage, combined with 2 sources of burn, it's a little mini nuke. And like I said, this is one of my favorite ways to play Destiny 2 because it involves Thorn. And to me, there hasn't been too many great builds with Thorn, and this, honestly, to me, is the best one. And because of that, it's always been a win-win. It's a strong sub, it can compete, or strong build, I should say, and I get to use Thorn. So just go try it out, see what it's all about, and remember it if Thorn ever gets that catalyst. I also use melee kickstart. Build number 4 involves the Echo of Vigilance. This fragment came out, Strand was hot, Arc was hot, continued to be hot, and when we first knew about it, we thought, well, it is good. Defeating a target while your shields are depleted grants a temporary overshield. It's a small time frame, but it helps, it's good. I believe the number's 30 or 40 extra overshield, and it's stackable. All characters can benefit from this, like Hunter. This is a build all in itself, the Repulsor Brace Falcon. This build is so good, and it sees 0 play. Vigilance comes up like all the time. It is good. Shields are broken, low red health, get a defeat, overshield. Persistence, Devour, Invisibility, Overshield has a longer duration. You're hitting all of these with this build. All of them, all the time. Dilation for stats, Starvation, picking up a Void Breach or Orb of Power grants Devour. We have Stylus Executioner, Vanishing Step. Reaper is on the class item, so after you dodge, next final blow, you're gonna get an orb to drop. And Gerfalcon is best paired with Repulsor Brace in the Crucible. So you're gonna dodge, go invisible, come out of invisibility. Void Weapon's gonna have volatile rounds. Proc them on the target, get the final blow. You're gonna get the Overshield, and you go back to invisibility because of Stylish Executioner. And what's wild is that in that first engagement where you dodge, come out invis, get the volatile rounds, get the Overshield, all that, all of it is up. Overshield, Devour, Invisibility when you pick up that orb. And Vigilance is still gonna proc at odd times. It's just really, really good. And with the Hunter setup, as far as Repulsor Brace, there are some really good ones. At a distance, there's the 4-burst Pulse. That's Repulsor Kill Clip, that's what you've been seeing. And when you watch some of the gameplay, when you pick up that orb or that Overshield goes up or invis, just the cooldowns are crazy long because that fragment that extends them. They're all up. You can go Hand Cannon, Exalted Truth, and mine's a great one. Rangefinder Repulsor, you can go out a lot of streaks with it with extra health. And the Void Kit has Devour on top with the Overshield, just a menace. And I've always felt that this is one of the strongest things in the Crucible, and again, sees little to no play, a lot of longevity with it. The Fragments, combined with this new one for Overshield, really completes it. We have the Title for SMGs, Perpetual Motion Repulsor. We have Collective Obligation. That's just a completely different route to start leeching buffs. All of it's strong. And you still get an Overshield with Collective Obligation because of the Fragment. For Titan, the simple pairings, OEM with the Fragment. There's a couple ways for an Overshield. There's no backup plans. There's Precious Scars, and that one's pretty interesting. Healing on a kill, you add in the Overshield, it's like second patch OEM. There's a lot of ways to play. And on Warlock, there's the Secant Filament, so getting Devour out of the gate. And Devour in general, I want to bring this up again, is just awesome with the Fragment. It's like having cake and eating it too, because these low health engagements, you're going to get that final blow, you're going to get the Overshield, and then immediately full health. Really, really good. So try that Fragment if you haven't. Work your own builds into it, and definitely give that Repulsor Gerfalcon Hunter a spin. There's technically 6 total builds, and that's what's in the title, counting the Radiant Hunter, the Arc Warlock with Spiral. I mean, and those are, I forget how long they are, 8 minutes, 10 minutes a piece. So there's 4 here and 2 scattered around. I tried different exotics again, Controverse Hold, Nothing Manacles, a bunch for Titan, a bunch for Hunter, and things like Atheris is niche, but it's good. Those tried and true things still work, even if it's PKs, things like that. The Osmiomancy Shadebinder is still one of the best subs in the game, so there's still a lot to go out and try and do. Before Season 22, open things up a little bit, try some of these out, and the majority of builds in the Crucible, I've been doing build videos and commentary for almost a decade, maybe a decade. When it comes to things like this, they are strong. Some of them out of the gate just has synergy to make it really good. Some of it, you have to do a little bit of work, but the majority of the player base, when it comes to quote, build crafting, it usually kind of revolves around pressing W or pressing jump. Beyond that, it loses a lot of people. So some of these still do that. All you have to do is play, jump, slide, go forward. But some of these have some different play styles. And from the looks nowadays, we need to create our own fun. I've been trying to get this video out for a while now. I started making it, then the Arc Warlock came up, started making it, then the Radiant Hunter came up. So they're all supposed to be included in here. I had some other ones, but I deemed that they weren't really beneficial and anyone could do well with. So I stuck with these 6. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about these and other builds that you would like to add down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.